I had a completely normal pregnancy, no problems at all. Even the labour was absolutely fine, wasn't it? Until literally at the end, with the actual birth, is when the problem started. I had ended up having an emergency cesarean because Riley he was facing the wrong way towards the end of the labour and just wouldn't come out. And then when he was actually born, he was so poorly, it was completely out of the blue and so unexpected. The doctors that were actually at the cesarean were completely surprised, weren't they, at how poorly he actually was, because there'd been nothing to indicate at all, had there was anything wrong.
No.
And once he'd been born, he was taken to specialist doctors who were in the room, and they were working on him, and it was horrendous, wasn't it? You hear, when a baby's born, the first cry is amazing, and we were there and we were waiting for it, and it just never came. And I think because it was so out of the blue, the doctors were trying to be so reassuring to us, sort of saying, some babies need a bit of help when they're first born, but obviously it went on longer than that, and it was just the most frightening experience, wasn't it?
No, I felt completely helpless. I remember my heart just dropping as soon as we found out that he wasn't breathing. It was a difficult situation to be in.
And then he was taken to intensive care in the RUH before I'd even had a chance to see him. And then it must have been a few hours later, they came and let Dave go to see him, and I couldn't see him until the Monday morning, just before he was taken to St Michael's in Bristol. I saw him for about a minute in passing as they were taking him to the ambulance. It was so difficult being left in Bath. Obviously they wouldn't let me go because of having a cesarean, so Dave was over in Bristol, and he was just having to relay all the information to me over the phone. And every time Dave rang me, my heart kind of stopped. For that split second, I thought, what's he phoning to tell me? Is it the worst? Thinking that maybe he hadn't even made it. And it was difficult for Dave having to take in the information, obviously when there's so much stuff going on, and then having to pass it on to me, which was why it was so helpful for Marianne to phone me direct and actually explain, everything in so much detail.
When Marianne approached us and talked about the xenon treatment, and Riley would be the first baby in the world to have the treatment, you think research, and do you want your baby to be the first one, and what if something goes wrong? However, Marianne was passionate and really supportive, and just seemed genuine, really, and we just thought, no, this is right, we can go for this. It seems like the right thing to do, and Marianne just has put in so many years of research with the cooling treatment that it just seemed the right thing to do.
It was a really gradual process, wasn't it?
Because in the hospital it was always sort of one step forward and then 2 steps back. So the 2 weeks that we were there, it was
kind of felt like with every thing that he progressed with, there was another possible problem, like maybe his kidneys weren't working, or they thought at one point he might have meningitis, and it was just getting him through the phases and the different stages that actually they began to realise that there wasn't going to be a problem with him. And as they just checked on him developmentally, and he was doing everything for a baby of his age, that's when it all became clear that actually he was going to come through.
And now you've seen him do everything that he's meant to be doing at this stage is great, and I think there's definitely a lot to be thankful for Marianne's work. Hugely, we can't thank you enough, really. So I'm glad there's someone out there doing this kind of research.
We think it's amazing what Sparks do. I mean, if it wasn't for charities like Sparks, then Marianne just wouldn't have been able to do this research, and if she can't do the research, you know, the outcome for Riley might have been so completely different. You know, until you're touched by it, you don't realise how many sick babies there are, and you know, it comes down to money, really, doesn't it? And for Sparks, just funding the research is amazing.
So this Saturday, yeah, we're doing a fundraiser at a church in Bath, where we're going to do an auction where companies in Bath and businesses have given us vouchers, like restaurant vouchers to spend, and also like cinema tickets, theatre tickets.
Quite a variety of things, aren't there?
Well,
Yeah.
we do a lot of work with Sparks to raise money for, you know, different projects over the course of the year, and this one's particularly special, seeing the results of some of the work that Sparks does and where the money goes. So it's really great to be here. So I've just brought along one or two other items which hopefully can raise some money for the auction. I brought a picture of me.
Brilliant, thank you.
Looks a bit like my son, really, but it's
Yeah.
not. The West Ham kit.
Oh yeah, I mean, it was great to have Geoff Hurst come here. Obviously a football legend. It's quite odd, someone like that walking through our front door and sort of being in our garden and
Wanting to see our son.
yeah, and he's showing great support by giving all this books and signed posters, which is brilliant, which will really help our auction hopefully raise more money. So yeah, it's really good to, and it's good to see the president of Sparks is really hands-on and willing to come out and see us, really, for someone who's, you know, quite famous. I don't know, it's just really good to see that he's just hands-on and willing to do that.